Now Ramsey is at a stage in his career where I suspect he's coming to Cardiff because there isn't a queue of people. I know they want to make it the sentimental return to Cardiff and everything back to there, but there might not be a queue. No, I'm just calling it for what it is. Maybe all of a sudden, Saudi Arabian club have come to Aaron Ramsey. Oh, sod my allegiance to Cardiff. I'm off to Saudi Arabia.
That's very presumptuous of you. Anyway,
cynical, I suspect.
I think Cardiff would be the winners out of it, to be quite honest, because shirt sales a whole bit. I'm quite sure that's how Mehmet and Vincent Tan would look at it. What do you think, Alex?
Well, it would certainly help with ticket sales, and obviously Cardiff at the moment are subject to quite strict restraints from the EFL. They can't actually pay for any players, and that's maybe another benefit when it comes to Aaron Ramsey, because he is a free agent. I think he'd have to take a significant pay cut, but definite talks have taken place between Ramsey and Cardiff, so we'll keep an eye on this one with interest.
Yeah, messages are coming in about James Trafford and Bolton fans having a say in what's going on here. Alex, he's the England under-21 goalkeeper, James Trafford. Is he heading for the Premier League, and what's the backstory to this?
Well, it's an extraordinary step up when you think about the fact he was on loan at Bolton in League One last season, but talks at a very advanced stage, we understand, between Manchester City and Burnley. Vincent Kompany's Burnley, of course, so a clear connection there. It's a deal worth £19 million, including the add-on. City also insist on a 20% sell-on and a buyback option. I think I saw a stat earlier that if this goes through, and we expect it to, he would become the 17th most expensive goalkeeper of all time. But it is a huge step up. I compare it, I guess, to Gavin Bazunu last season when he went from Manchester City to Southampton. Probably it proved a bit too much for him being a Premier League number one. But I'm told that James Trafford is very similar in personality to one Aaron Ramsdale. So maybe he's up. Well, he's certainly up for the challenge. And if he's half as good a goalkeeper as Aaron Ramsdale, £19 million will be money well spent.
Quite a few Bolton fans. Dave in Bolton's one of them. Come on, you trotters. He's saying that his club should get some kind of a wedge of money out of this. I'm not sure if that's wishful thinking, Alex, is it?
I think he started at Carlisle, actually. So if anybody's going to benefit, it may well be Carlisle. But
Right.
I guess what we can say is this, again, extols the virtues of the EFL pyramid. Very unique that you can get players who come through the ranks at a lesser like Carlisle. Then they play at Bolton and learn their trade. And all of a sudden they are in a position where they join a Premier League club.
Okay, which takes us nicely to a man that Simon can't say anything bad about, Wilf Zaha. I read earlier on, a free agent Wilf Zaha has agreed deals in principle with Lazio, Fenerbahce and Al Nassr. And also, talks are still open with Crystal Palace. I mean, so what, he's going to play for all of them? What's going on?
Yeah, well, he played for Al Nassr on a Friday night and then hot-foot it back to play for Lazio in the Rome derby on a Saturday. I mean, it's an incredible situation, but he's got himself in a very strong position, hasn't he, as a free agent? And as you say, certainly offers from those four clubs. At the moment, I suggest that Saudi Arabia, his least likely destination. I think he's only been offered £15 million a year as opposed to the sort of £100 million that has come N'Golo Conte's way. So I'm not convinced that'll be enough.
Back pocket change.
To take him to Saudi Arabia. But what interests me here, and maybe Simon has an opinion, you mentioned the four clubs there, and I think there's genuine interest from all four, including Palace, who'd like to keep him. Why are there not more Premier League clubs at the table for a free agent in Wilf Zaha?
Go on, Simon. Why aren't there?
I genuinely don't know. I've always maintained.
Well, you're a big agent on this show.
I've said as many complimentary things as I've said about Wilf not doing enough and falling about, rolling around on the floor and getting his hands on his hips. So I've been equally critical at times.
Yeah.
But I know how good he is, and so do a lot of other people. I'm surprised that there aren't more Premier League football clubs. And I think the opportunity, I think a lot of people look back on the move to Man United and remember that in a certain way. And there is a perception of Wilfried Zaha that I think is fundamentally wrong. But I think he could play, and I said it before and I say it again, I don't care who doesn't like it. I think he could play at the highest level. I think he could play in a Champions League side. And I'm surprised that there isn't. But if there isn't, there isn't. And it might be because people are looking at the age of the player and looking at what they've already got in their locker room and seeing.
Or as you said earlier, maybe he spends too much time on the ground rolling about.
Well, there's a lot of them that do that. But if you look at the
doesn't make it right.
Contribution to it, that was my accusation against him at times, not full stop. Don't recharacterise what I said.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. I think he's a very good player, and I'm surprised that there aren't other football clubs in for him.
Well, it might change, Alex. It might change. You never know. But at the moment, certainly, he's got a decision to make. I would have thought that the sensible money would be in him carrying on at Palace.
Well, he's been offered a contract that will make him their highest paid player. I think obviously Roy Hodgson is committed now. Yeah, I think it's his own record that he'll be breaking.
Yeah.
Roy Hodgson is committed for another year. My understanding is they have a pretty decent manager-player relationship. And actually, with the likes of Elise and Ezer, there's not such a burden on Wilf Zaha, and I think it did weigh him down before that he was the talisman. Everything had to come through him. I think he's quite enjoyed the pressure being taken off his shoulders. I wouldn't rule out him staying at Palace, but it will be interesting to see if any more Premier League clubs do now come to the table before he makes a final decision.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.